Good afternoon and welcome to the May 14th meeting of the Twin Falls Rotary Club. Sergeant at Arms today, John Anderson stood in for Kathy Vogley. Appreciate that, John. Danny Morona will be leading a song. We have no Teddy today. We have no Carl today. Unfortunately, we all know what Teddy does, but today was Carl's day to have the program. So you're going to see a little improvisation, and of course Danny is a king of improvisation, so we're lucky. So he's going to help us fill the time with a little bit of frivolity, right, Danny?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Very frivolous.
Patty Odell has invocation. Kent Collins has introduction of guests, and with that, Danny.
Well, program or no program, I'm happy today. You pretty much have to be happy, or a florist, to dress like this. But it is written by someone much older and wiser than myself. A wise man tells his wife he understands her. An idiot tries to prove it. I guess we'll sing God Bless America. I was running over these patriotic tunes in my head thinking which one would be the easiest to do without the benefit of an accompanist. And Teddy's not here, and even the organ grinder is not home right now. So, Leon... Oh, Lord. That is very low, Leon. Now I can't get that note out of my head. God bless America. Ba ba da 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 da. Da la 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 la. Wouldn't it be funny if we just sat down now? That would be great. Here we go. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairie, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. That might be the best that they've ever done. Give yourselves a big round of applause. All right, I'll be back with frivolity. I hate to be frivolous before Patty Odell utters such a beautiful prayer. And I hate to be frivolous after, but if you'll please join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please pray with me. Lord, let us stay focused on the objectives we have for the world. Peace, tranquility, freedom from hunger, from oppression, from sickness. We reaffirm our commitment to our simple Rotary four-way test for all we say and do. And we give thanks for the blessings, opportunities, and responsibilities that befall us as Rotarians. We continue our work with optimism, renewed energy, and a commitment to service to you and to our fellow men and women. Please, Lord of the universe, help us to serve. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, buddy.
Okay, Rich Stivers has a guest today.
Yes, our guest today is Gene Turley. Gene from the Twin Falls County Coroner.
President, Bob has a guest for us today.
Susan Gwen. Susan's also going to be joining us before too long.
Oh, great. Well, thanks for coming and come back anytime.
We have a couple of student guests with us today from Canyon Ridge High School, and Patty's going to introduce them to us.
Proudly. So let's have Madison stand up first. I am really, I always love to bring the students, and these are two of our most outstanding from Canyon Ridge High School. This is Madison Dahlquist, and boy does she have a list of accomplishments. She has completed her bronze, silver, and gold congressional awards. She's in the National Honor Society. She is in HOSA. Will you tell us what that is?
It's a Health Occupation Students of America. It's just a club of students at school who are interested in going to the medical field. So every year we have like a state conference, and then we have like certified nursing competitions in medical spelling and terminology and all these competitions. So it's cool.
And they have a medical spelling test, which you can only imagine how hard that would be. Madison placed first, and she's going to the national competition. She is well-rounded. She's on the Canyon Ridge High School tennis team. She's in Leo Club. She's on student council, and she is a past honored queen of Job's Daughters. Her community service, and this is what I love to see. She has completed over 450 hours of community service at St. Luke's Magic Valley Regional Medical Center, which is fabulous. She's been involved with Hospice Visions and committed 30 hours of her work there and 40 hours to Red Cross. She plays the piano. She's in the drum corps, and she's planning to attend the University of Idaho. Yay! Go Vandals. She's planning a double, a major in microbiology and a double minor in music and history. Sometimes the talent of these kids and the ability just wows me. She wants to be a pediatric oncologist, and we were talking on the way over. Her big wish in life and her dream is to be able to go overseas to third world countries and work in pediatrics. So, Madison Dahlquist. We have another outstanding student. This is Lance Teskey. Lance is also a senior at Canyon Ridge High School. He has maintained a 3.9 GPA and is taking honors in college classes. How many classes have you taken, Lance, that'll get you college? How many dual credits have you?
5 or 6, actually.
Excellent. Very good. He plays 3 varsity sports, football, basketball, and track, and was selected all conference in all 3 sports. I've seen him play, and he's quite good. He's an Eagle Scout. He's also earned his bronze and silver congressional awards, and those do require many hours of voluntary service, personal development, and management. He participates and helps with community events through his church and his scout troop. He plans to go to college and study biology after he completes his mission. So Lance Teskey.
Well, you two are certainly among the most outstanding, I believe, that we've ever had here. And we wish you the very best as you continue your educational careers. So, very good. Just a reminder, this Friday is district conference. And on Friday afternoon, there are 4 roundtables, and I'm kind of proud of the fact that 3 of those are going to be hosted by members of our club. So Jill is going to talk about, imagine this, that Jill would talk about it. Planning a successful fundraiser. Think you could think of anybody that's any more suited for that? And Jennifer's going to talk about recruiting and retaining younger members, and I'll be talking about the Rotary Leadership Institute. So if you have a chance to come on up for those, we'd be glad to have you up there. Our CSI Trail Project, I think we've announced the last couple of weeks, will be next a week from Friday. And we're going to be doing touch-up on the trail. I've sent sign-up sheets around. If you're able to help, we sure would appreciate it. We need people with vehicles, and we need people with supervisory skills. We'll have a bunch of the students will be there. About I think they said about 150 students will be there, and there will be parents and teachers that will be along. But on a nice summer or spring day, you never can have too much supervision. So if you can help with that, we'd sure appreciate it. That's, as you know, that's kind of a signature project of our club. The club was involved in getting the trail put together to start with, and we've been involved with maintaining it ever since. And it's kind of a part of our heritage, I think. The other thing I'm pleased to announce, I've been working with Randy Dill and Dale McFarland at CSI on their staff, and we have applied. Actually, Chris did the work. He did the application for a new station. If you've been on the trail, you know that some of the stations have seen their better days. And so through a grant that we got from First Federal Foundation, we have ordered a new station. And so will be some help, probably need some help to get that installed. But it's kind of a neat thing to be able to improve that walking trail that we've been so involved with over the years. Again, if you can help, we'd sure appreciate that. We'll pass the sheet around today, and we'll do it again next week. Board meeting will be tomorrow morning at Addison West Restaurant, and any of you that are interested are welcome to attend. It should be a good session. Our incoming president, or President-elect Paul Arrington, has developed a budget for next year, and has also done some preliminary work on the establishing committees for next year. And that's an area I think that we felt that we needed to figure out a better way to do some things on committees, and so Paul has taken that assignment on and has put together a program and some plans for getting our committees. So stay tuned for that. Kevin has got some information he'd like to share on the Spirit of Magic Valley. Is another thing that we've participated in the last couple of years.
Need to review this again. So once again, the Spirit of Magic Valley is upon us in the May 31st at CSI, or our station is going to be right here again at CSI. And you can see how easy it is, and it's a great day project. Terry, you're going to join us? Terry's really good at it. This is at the 10-mile location. So I'm looking for about 4 to 5 members that can help that day. It's from about 7 to 11 in the morning. It's now Michelle, part of the name. I'd like to point out that Michelle ran the first full marathon here in Twin Falls last Saturday in the wind at 4 hours and 45 minutes, 26 miles. That's what you guys do.
So if you happen to be available on Saturday the 31st, Kevin could use some help. I have a letter to read that we received from Kevin Trainer. It said, "This is not easy. It's been almost 2 years since I've attended any meeting on a regular basis. It says, I've fired myself, and in parentheses, retired. I'm involved in a volunteer activity to which I'm absolutely dedicated, which takes me out of town on Wednesdays. I've agonized over this every Tuesday for about 18 months. With this in mind, I feel that I have no choice but to resign from Rotary. If things change, I'll be back applying for membership. As we Marines say, keep leaning forward and share your courage. Signed, Kevin Trainer. So we hate to see Kevin leave, but that happens. We have a second reading for a new member, Susan Gwynn. If you have any comments or questions, please address them to board member. And next item is birthdays. And Perry's having had a birthday yesterday, so I hope you had a good one, Perry. Good. And Perry said that, I guess, and Richard, that if anybody has a real burning desire to buy a raffle ticket, there's still some up here. You can buy them, but today's it. So, Rotary anniversaries. Lawrence, is Lawrence here? Let's see. 25 years. That's a long stretch. So, at this point, since our program is a little shorter today than normal, we are fortunate in that Dale Riesel talked to me earlier about the trail, and I asked him if he would mind giving us kind of an update on the extension of the walking trail. He said, no, I wouldn't, but Chris would be glad to do that. So Chris Scholes is going to give us an update of kind of where we're at on that project.
With literally minutes of preparation. Sadly, there are probably a lot of folks in the room that are saying, trail project? What? What you just saw in the CSI trail maintenance activity is kind of where we've been, and it's a great project to be involved in. For those who haven't heard, we're working to extend that trail all the way to the canyon rim. Specifically, the portion of the trail that would go from North College to the underpass that's on Bullend Road. There's already most of the trail that will get from there to the canyon. And when you couple that with the city's plans to extend eventually the trail system to go from Auger Falls to Shoshone Falls, that puts together a walking/biking trail where you could get an awful lot done in town. And I enjoyed the bits about the marathon when Ben Harmon is saying what sets this town apart from everywhere else is that big hole in the ground north of town. And to have something that showcases that and can get you to CSI, which is really the heart and soul of this town, I think makes a lot of sense. Now, having said that, this has been very much a good news and bad news proposition. The good news is when we've taken this to all of the parties involved, like the CSI board, the CSI foundation, the city, we've had no resistance whatsoever. Everybody's very excited to help us. At the time that we started soliciting help from engineering firms, they were very glad to help, and initially we got a lot of assistance. And the good news for everyone else is the economy started to pick up. The bad news is that means their spare time started to go down, so things have been quite a bit slower. The good news now is we get to spend your money. Because a couple of years ago, the Rotary Board was kind enough to set aside $1,000 in seed money for this project, and we've never had cause to write a check. Well, now we do. We are going to get an alignment put out for the trail, and we're going to get some of the mapping done so that hopefully we can do some fundraising, and at the time when the new Cheney Drive comes in by the Health Sciences Building at CSI, hopefully there will be a trail to go with it. So, hopefully that wasn't too confusing. Are there any questions that I can answer?
Here's one over here.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Nancy. A clue, yes. Absolute estimates, no. Rough terms, we're looking at very rough terms, we're looking at $100,000. And that's, it may be, given the lapse of time, we're estimating it may be up to 150. The good news is for projects like this, I think there is grant money out there, so I don't think that going door to door or collecting change in the bucket is going to be our main line of attack. Are there going to be things that we're going to need to do as a group for fundraising? Absolutely. And believe me, I will be up here groveling as hard as I can grovel when we get to that point. You bet. Yes, sir.
Have you got title or easements to all the land that's affected?
Would you believe? Yes. That was step one. So, yes. And it's most of that property, almost all of it, is split between CSI and the CSI Foundation. And yes, we have been working with them since, actually before the first update I gave on this 2 years ago. So, yes, Terry? I'll repeat it for you. Yes. We're still looking at different ways to do that. We have the alignment pretty well set up. It's going to be a question of, okay, are we just building the footbridge that crosses with minimal impact in the wetlands there? Or are we going to try to do something particularly cool with it? My favorite, which I think is a long shot, is there are still chunks of the old Singing Bridge out there. And I think that if you could put that in place as sort of the foundation of it and dress it up, I think that would be a really cool touch. Honestly, I don't think that's how it's going to play out. But that is one of the things we've talked to the city and the Parks and Rec folks about. But that will be the single most expensive thing we do, is crossing that coulee. What else?
Chris,
Ken?
who in this club today was in the club 40 years ago?
All you have to do is look over at this table, Ken.
Well, now listen. My understanding is that the Rotarians had the beer concession for Evel Knievel's jump.
John?
And I heard that that's where the beer truck got dumped over and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, what about, should we apply for that again for Ken Beckley coming over the road? That might be. I know the reason why.
Did everybody else in here just hear Ken just volunteer to do something? I heard it and I've got witnesses. I think if he doesn't, if the jump doesn't happen, we can have him hop over the coulee and see if we can get the most out of that somehow.
There you go.
Okay. Anything else that I can answer? Well, I'm sorry this is slow. We knew that it was going to be, but I didn't imagine it was going to be this slow, but I'm happy to say that things are at least moving forward. Thanks to everybody who's volunteered. Yes, Don?
So this part of the trail takes us from CSI to the canyon?
It takes us from CSI to the underpass, and there is already a trail that is set up that goes out to goes from the canyon edge to the north side of that underpass.
You're talking about the underpass
Under pole line, yes.
So this is to that underpass.
This is to that underpass, and then we have the option, we're not obligated. There is another stretch, north-south stretch, that would be about a quarter mile east of that could be developed, that would make the trail system better. We have not signed on for that, but it's nice to say, okay, here, this is a big picture project. If this works out, that might be where it goes next. Okay, that's a good point. What we'd really like to do, what the city would like to have us do, what Parks and Rec would like to have us do, and what I think is aesthetically the best idea, is to follow the Perrine Coulee from North College all the way to the underpass. Because if you've ever gone under that underpass, you're walking next to the concrete throughway where the coulee sits. Some years ago, the city council put in place regulation such that when the Lazy J trailer park is developed, whether that be tomorrow or 50 years from now, that a walking trail will be put along the Brine Coulee. And that predates anything that this project has done. Right now, we've approached the folks at the Lazy J. They're not interested in us putting that through there. So at the beginning, this will go to the Lazy J property, head due east, and then north on the right-of-way that we have between Fawn Brook and Lazy J, and that gets us to the sidewalk, which leads to the underpass. But Lazy J will be developed someday. And that might be in 2 years, that might be in 20 years. As the regulations are on the book, when that happens, that will be vacated. What the part of the trail I just described will be vacated, and it will be extended along the coulee. And that's, like I said, that is foresight on the part of the city council that we don't really get to take any credit for. I thought I saw another. Yes. 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 This is the northern part of this is a quote-unquote temporary trail, but since it's designed to be there for the 20 to 30 years it may take to develop Lazy J, it's a pretty permanent temporary trail. So yes, this will be a 10-foot wide asphalt trail with another foot of gravel on each side. Okay, anything else? Thanks to everybody who has stopped me on the way out of meetings and said, just let me know what I can do. We really appreciate the sentiment. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Now, Paul, I'm going to put you on the spot. Have you got anything to share about the commons? Is there anything new on that? I knew you could.
I'm always willing to talk.
And you do it so well.
There you go. First of all, though, I fear there needs to be a clarification for anybody from the East Coast. When they're talking about a coulee, they're not talking about somebody's butt. They're talking about an irrigation canal. Poor Michelle over here was just terribly confused. But just FYI. A little update on the Downtown Commons project. I've been planning on giving an update, but things just have been happening lately. But we are about, most recently we received $5,000 from Cliff Bar, and then the hospital has just informed us that they are going to be able to donate $5,000 to the project as well. So that puts us at about $20,000 to $25,000 from our fundraising goal. And I've been in communication with a contractor who is helping us put together, I say I, but that's not even close to accurate, because Terry has been very, very involved in this and pushing this even harder than me many times. But we've been chatting with a contractor who's going to help us put together some bid packages that we can then take to various contractors around the community and say, here's what we're doing. You know, what can you do for us, and hopefully make up some of that $20,000, give or take, that we have to earn through those kinds of in-kind donations and things. The goal and the plan was that I would come here this spring with a date for you that said, okay, our plan is to start construction. Well, let me say, we started meeting with the contractor back in February with the hopes of seeing, is there any way we can get this done before the summer concert series starts? But just with all the logistics and everything that had to go into it, he didn't feel comfortable trying to push it that fast. So we decided to say, okay, we'll wait and we'll do it as soon as the concert series is over, which would be September-ish, would be the goal for construction start time. And in the interim, though, we've now been getting some word with the city, from the city, about some construction they want to do down there, which, as I understand it, and I don't have all the details, is a pretty substantial construction of the sidewalk and the road and the utilities stuff down there along the main street. And so we are actually trying to get with the city next week to talk with them and see what kind of how we might be able to combine these projects together. So maybe the demolition can all happen at the same time, and that would be a substantial savings on the demolition and things like that. So we're coordinating a meeting with the city next week. If we go with the city, which is likely because of the potential cost savings. If it works out that we can go with the city, then that may push it back a little further to next spring, depending on the city's fundraising, the city's hoops that they have to jump through to make that happen. But either way, my hope is within the next couple weeks to have a solid deadline so that we can fire back up the selling of bricks and getting this done. We've kind of let that fall by the wayside for a little while, so to speak, as we've worked on other fundraising, and while we just didn't have a end goal in mind. But once we know October 15th is the last day we're going to order bricks or whatever the case may be, then we can fire that up and get it running. And I won't take any questions. We have sold about, boy, do you remember? 400 or so. Yeah, and we've been doing the fundraising in association with the foundation, so I don't know how many Rotary versus the foundation have sold, but the total is about 400-ish. Give or take 375.
How many bricks have you bought?
How many bricks have I bought? 400. 3 with all my kids' names on them. Had to double them up and triple them up, but we got my kids on them all.
I was talking about collecting.
Oh yeah, how many? Yeah, you can ask that. You can follow up with them after the meeting. Good, thank you.
Thanks, Paul. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but you did an excellent job, so. Danny, we got a few minutes left. Have you got a few minutes of frivolity?
No. Just to note a few changes. First of all, I think the thing that I can do to really, really make myself a big hit today is get you out of here early. So that's my major goal, so I'll be talking as fast as I can. You know, it didn't seem that long ago, but maybe it was longer than I like to admit, when casino showrooms were fighting over me and offering me big contracts. And now, today, Morona program didn't show up. Do you think you can get up and do something? And last week, my wife, who was president of the ladies club at the country club, she said, "Can you come and perform for the ladies Wednesday night?" And I said, "Why?" She said, "The magician didn't work out." I said, "You mean you don't really want me? I'm just there because..." She said, "Well, the pigeon got stuck in his coat. I don't know." So people ask me if I do comedy very much anymore. No, I used to do a majority of my comedy about my family and my marriage, and my kids are all grown and gone. And since I retired, my marriage isn't as funny as I thought. So I thought we would do something that I've never tried in public before, but I just think, by the way, Jim Turley, who's running for coroner, I don't know why, you have a great smile, and I noticed that. And the reason that I noticed that is because I used to know in the early days when I was 16 years old and I played piano bar at the Mountain View Country Club, and we used to have Bob Grimes and his wife Marge. They owned Grimes Mortuary, and they used to come in and see me a couple nights a week. And Marge, the wife, was a real body broad, and she would get up on top of the bar and take her high heels off and sing, "I flip when a fella sends me flowers." But Bob was the only human being I ever met who could laugh without smiling. And I would tell a joke and Bob would go, And it used to scare the hell out of me, quite frankly. But you have a very nice smile, so happy coroning. Anyway, I wanted to try something in terms of meditation here today. It's something that I've been studying. Years ago, I dated a girl back in Chicago, and when I came, she wanted to impress me with how smart she really was. And when I came back to appear at the Blue Max in Chicago, I said, "Hey, Jan, what have you been doing?" And she said, "Danny, since I saw you the last time, I've been really expanding my horizons." And I said, "Well, that's great. Like, what have you been doing?" She said, "Well, for one thing, I'm into transgressional meditation." I said, "Well, I'll follow you to your house." I'm into that too. What I want you to do is just reach your arms out, because there's been kind of a somber mood here today. And I would, by the way, I told my wife the other day, I said, "You know, I've only been called for jury duty." We were talking about this at the lunch table one time, and I didn't get picked. Can you imagine that? Because I think I have a very fair sense of justice. But I told the judge during my pre-trial interview, I said, "Your Honor, I don't need to see as much evidence as most people do. I just kind of go by their look." And he excused me. Anyway, okay, I want you to just reach your arms out and repeat after me, and please be in a very reverent mood if you would, which won't be too much of a stretch. Oh, everybody. Oh, okay. You can feel the cobwebs starting to clear already, I think. Ta-fu. Ta-fu. Very good. Okay, shake it out. All right. Lie-am. Lie-am. All right, put it together. Oh, what a fool I am. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thanks, Danny, and you are always our #1 program. We appreciate you. You're such a blessing to have as a part of our club. We really appreciate you. And with that, I would like to thank all of the visitors that we had today, and invite you to come back and see us anytime, particularly our students. We're really pleased that you were able to come and be with us today, and again, best wishes to you as you embark on a new phase of your educational experience. With that, let's close with before we, oh, you guys would never let me forget that, will you? It's only happened a couple times, and you'd think after 46 weeks I'd get it right, wouldn't you? Go ahead and draw, Richard. Okay, the first one is 7609. All right, Jeff. And the second one is 7616. All right, we've got 2 winners. Well, hopefully you'll have a chance. Anyway, let's close the meeting with before we test. 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it true? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Meeting's adjourned. Have a great rest of the week.